All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're gonna start in a all right. So today, let me know if you guys can hear me. We're gonna begin now. Awesome. Okay. So today's class, we're gonna go through some questions and just recap and organize and make sure we understand everything we would have covered. So even if, for example, you are not here in class for some of the parts of functions, you would be able to pick up something from today's session. Okay. So I want you guys to just read the first four questions because everybody should be able to answer the first four questions because we've done decimal places, we've done multiplying decimals, fractions, significant figures. So just take a look at it and then we're going to go through the solutions. So let me just move this over. All right, so let's look at, we're going to begin now. So when we look at question number one, so to be honest, you can contribute an answer if you want to, but this is just going to be a short session where I would just go through the questions with you to prepare you for understanding and doing it on your own. Okay, so let's look at question number one. It says the number 3.140. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Let me move this over a little bit. Let me move this over a little bit. All right, so question number one. The number 3.14063 to three decimal places. I don't know if you remember what we had to do when we want to round off something. So for example, in this case, we want three decimal places. And so that would be the first decimal place would be 1. Let me use a bigger circle. So this would be the first decimal place. This would be the second decimal place. This would be the third. This would be the fourth. This would be the fifth. And since we're here, I just want to make sure you know the place values. The first place value is tenths, hundredths, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Okay? So now that we want to round after three decimal places, that means we need to cut off somewhere. So we need to cut off after 3. So that means we want nothing after the 0. Sorry, my pen acting a little shaky. Let me use the straight line. So we want nothing after the 0. But we just can't cut it off just like that. So we need to look at the number on the right. And if it's 5 or more, the last digit would either increase or decrease. So because it's 5 or more, 0 is going to increase by 1. So the number would become 3.141. So our answer is B. Okay, this one, no, number 2, this question always comes. And this is how I want to teach you how to answer this. What you realize here is that it's the same digits. The only difference is the decimal point is in a different position. So for example, you realize we got 4-3, we got 4-3. We got 3-7, we got 3-7. And then so the answer is going to also have the same digits. And if you look at your options, all the same digits except the placement of the decimal point. So this is what you do. You identify how many times the decimal place move from this number to the next number. So for example, the point was between the 4 and the 3. And here it is between, it's in front of the 4. So that means this would represent 1 left jump. Because if I jump the point once to the left, that's how I would get this number here. So that's 1 left jump. Let's look at the next two numbers, 0.37, 370. How much times do I have to jump the point to get the point behind here? This would be 1 jump, 2 jump, but that's 37. So we need 370. We need another jump. And then we'll put a 0 here. You know what? Let me write it on the side so you guys can see. So it could make it a lot clearer. So apologies for that. And guys, if ever I'm doing something and it's not clear, don't be afraid to say, Miss V, you could do it over on the side or whatever, okay? So like I was saying, we got these two numbers, 4.3 times 0.37, and it gives us this answer. Okay? What you realize here, that's the first equation that they gave us. The second equation is 0.43 times times 370 is equal to something. So that's what we need to determine. So like I was saying, these two initial numbers have the same digit. It's just that the point is placed in a different position. So all we need to determine is what types of jumps we need to do to go from here to here and to go from here to here. So if you look at the point, where would I have to jump to make it 0.43? To the left or to the right? If I move it to the right, it's going to become 43. So where would I move it? To the left, right? So if I move it to the left, the number is going to become 0.43. So that's one left jump. What about this two? 0.700. What type of jumping do I have to do, guys, to change it from 0.37 to 370? Left or right jump? Let me see if anybody picking up on the jumping. Where would we jump the point? Do we jump it to the left or to the right? Excellent, to the right. So how many times we need to jump it to the right? So let's look at it. If I jump it once, that's going to be 3.7. If I jump it twice, that's going to be 37. But how much, what do I need? I need 370. So I need to jump 3 times. Because when I jump 3 times, I just add a 0 here. So that was 3 right jumps. So once you figure out how many jumps you have to make, you apply those jumps to this answer here. So there we go. First, we're going to jump to the left once. That's going to put the point here. But we need to now jump to the right 3 times. So this is where the point was. So let's jump 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So what is our answer? Our answer is then 159.1. Everybody see that? It's all about just jumping the points. Nobody expects you to go and work out this like this. Nobody expects you to do this. Because when you're done, nobody expects you to go and calculate this, because if you realize all of the digits is the same, so it's just about finding out where is the correct placement of the point. Everybody see that? So even though if this is the first time you did something like this, you could take note, copy down the working and go from there. All right, let's look at number 3. Can we answer that question? Yes or no? Come guys, talk to me. Let me know how you feel about number 3. Can you answer number 3? I'm going to go through it, but I just want to see who think they can answer the question. So that's one person. What about everybody else? Can you answer this question? Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take a look. So we have 2 types of fractions here. The 2 types of fractions are what? Mixed fractions. So let's write it out. 5 and 2 over 5 plus 4 and 3 over 7. First thing you have to look at is adding the whole numbers. Because it's addition, we could add the whole numbers separately. So what do you realize? All of them have 9. So that's not the thing we're looking for. What we're looking for is to focus on the fractions. 2 over 5 plus 3 over 7. Anybody remember how to add 2 fractions? What do we find first? What must happen in order for me to add 2 fractions? They must have what? The same denominator. So I need to find the LCM of 5 and 7. Somebody, what's the LCM of 5 and 7? Excellent, 35. Excellent. So this is how we do this. We draw our line. We need to change 5 to 35 and 7 to 35. So what number can I multiply by 5 to get 35? Multiply by 7. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Same thing here. What do I do to 7 to change it to 35? I multiply by 5. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So let's multiply now. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 3 times 5, 15. So 14 plus 15 is 29 over 35. So what's the answer? The answer is D. Everybody sit down? So this is quick revisions. We did this already. All right. Let's look at number 4. Written to 2 significant figures, what is the answer when we multiply 18.96 times 2.03? Now, remember paper 1, you can't use a calculator. So you have to use the process of elimination. What do you realize about your options? Look at your options first. So you would realize that they asked for 2 significant figures. So even without, AT, is that Treviso or tequila? All right, so as I was saying, look at the options you have, right? And you have to use the process of elimination. Is D, how many significant figures D has? Everybody, let's go. Try to answer that question. Remember, all non-zero digits are significant. Zeros that come in between 2 non-zero digits are significant. And trailing zeros are significant. So how many significant figures here? So all of them are non-zero, so that's 4. So that would be a significant figure. This is a significant figure, significant. So that's 4 sig figs. What about C? How many significant figures here? It is also 4. You know why it's 4? Because this 0 is counted. This is a trailing 0 in the decimal place. So that's 4 sig figs. Now these 2 have 2 sig figs. We don't ever count the first. You always start counting from the first non-zero. So the 0 in front, we don't count. So this is 2. And obviously this is 2. But which one would you pick? Would you pick A or would you pick B? Everybody. The 0 in the front, you don't ever count it. You always start counting from the first non-zero digit with significant figures. Let's go. So everybody, which one would you pick? Okay, there's a reason I asked that as well. Let me show you why. Anybody know what estimating means? If somebody say I got $5.95, I could round it off. Let me write it down. If I say I got $5.95, I could just say I got estimation of $6. Everybody see that? That's something you have to learn how to do in maths. So let's look at these two things. If I was to round off $18.96 times 2.03, what can I round off this to? Come, talk to me. $19. Very good. What would I round off $2.03 to? $2. So if you were to look at that, you realize you got two things you could use. So if you were to look at the estimation without calculating, what could be the only answer? B. So the answer for this was D. The answer for this is B. Everybody see that? And look at the options. You realize all three of them got 38, and this is the only one with 0.38. Pay attention to your options. Pay attention. Sometimes without calculating anything, you could pick up on your answer. All right? Everybody with me? No, I'm going to skip ratio for now because that's what we're going to be doing next. Actually, we're going to be doing this from tomorrow, Thursday. So anything with ratio, we're going to leave it for now. So we're skipping 5 and 6. Let's look at number 7. This is a number theory question. What do you realize about even and odd numbers? So let's read it. If 3n is an odd number, which of the following is an even number? Everybody take a guess. Let me just see what you would pick before I tell you the answer. Because you have to be able to see how you're thinking. So which one would you pick? Would you pick A, B, C, D? Look at all the options. You're going to see something when you look at your options. And if you were to guess, even if you don't know, which one will you choose? Okay, I see some people making some choices. B and D is the same, so obviously that's wrong. So there we go. Which one would you pick? C? Okay. Anybody else? All right. So let me show you something. When it comes to even and odd numbers, let's use some examples. So I'm going to use odd in black. And I'm going to use even in red. What do you realize about the odd and even numbers next to each other? How do I move from 1 to 2? What do I add? I add 1. But let's say we're going backwards. Let's say I want to move from an odd to back to an even. What do I subtract? All right, see now? If I add 2, you realize if I add 2 to an odd number, it gives me another odd number. If I subtract 2 from an odd number, you realize you're giving me back an odd number. So this is what you always got to remember. After every odd number is an even. After every even is an odd. So it's always a +1 or a -1. Which is the only option here that got +1 or -1. Everybody see that? It doesn't matter what they tell you the even number is. So let's look at the next example. Suppose I say an even number is 2p. What is the next even number? You only got 2 options. Somebody tell me, what do I do to get the next even number? I either gonna add something or subtract something. Exactly. So your answer would be 2p, either +2 or 2p -2. Because remember, you could go the even number before or the even number after. Everybody with me? But if we want to move from an even to an odd or odd to an even, you either add 1 or subtract 1. Everybody with me? So you just learned something new if you didn't know that before. And this is where we call mathematical thinking and making observations. You have to pay attention to patterns. You have to pay attention to like signals and signs. These are all the things that we look at, okay? So our answer is therefore A. So good try. And again, look at your other options. You realize the rest of them is +2, -2. So pay attention to these things as well. All right, number 8 is pretty easy. We should know what the highest common factor is. What highest common factor mean? What HCF mean? It can't be 9 because 9 is the smallest number. 9 could go into all of it. But which two options could never be the answer? If we're looking for a factor, which two options, you always eliminate which the options cannot be the answer. Which two could never be the answer? Let's go talk to me because this is critical thinking now. Paper 1 is actually harder than paper 2. Which two could never be the answer? Let me ask you a question. Can D ever be the answer? A factor can be bigger than the number. So for example, if I said, give me the factors of 6, the factors of 6 would be 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Those are the numbers. When you multiply them, you get back the number. So 90 can be a factor of 54. It is a factor of 90. So we know that's out. Can't be the answer. What's for 1080? So the option is between 9 and 18. Which one would you pick? Because you don't have a calculator. And guess what? You guys are wrong. I'm going to show you something. Look at all these things. I'm going to show you how to work it out. 18 ain't twice the amount of 9. Everybody see that? 9 is half of 18, or 18 is twice the amount of 9. So check this. It didn't ask you for any common factor, you know? It asks for the highest common factor. So take these 4 numbers, 54, 72, 90. If I divide all these numbers by 9, guess what I'm going to get? I am going to get 54 divided by 9. Yeah? I'm going to get 8. I'm going to get 10. Everybody see that? Because these two numbers are even, I could divide all these numbers by 2. Everybody get out your calculators and check it. That means that I could divide all these numbers by 2. And because I could divide all these numbers by 2, it means then that, because remember, what did I divide first by? I divide by 9 first. Everybody see that? And I got 8. And now I'm dividing by 2. And when I divide by 2, what did I get? I got 3. I got 4. I got 5. How much times did I divide though? Did I divide twice? So in total, what did I divide by? Main divide by 18 and all. Main divide by 18 and all. Take out your calculators and check it, you see. So 54 divided by 18 is 3. 72 divided by 18 is 4. 90 divided by 18 is 5. You see how I divided by 18 without dividing by 18? I divided by 9 first. And then when I divide by 9, I realized, oh, I could divide all of them. I could divide by another number by all of them. And that was 2. So that means in total, I divided by 9 times 2, 18. So the factor is 18. So if you learn this for the first time, don't beat up yourself. That's why we're here. We're just going through. Everybody with me? Remember, it says highest common factor. So check in with me. Let me know how you're feeling before we continue. Everybody with me still? Okay. I also want to take this opportunity to show you why it is important for us to have these sessions, because we could learn all the information, We could do classes, but if we don't learn how to use the information, it's not going to help you in the exam, okay? All right. So let's look at number 9. Number 9 is really asking us to find the distributive property. So they tell us, let's see if you can figure it out before I tell you. They tell us we have 101 99s. So that's how much 99s we got. Which one of these options represent 101 99s? Is it A? Let's go. Yes or no? Do you think it's A? The answer is no. You know why? Because this is going to give me 199s plus 1. And give me 101 99s. Everybody see that? You need a next 99 to make it 101 99s. What does that mean? 99 hundreds. You have 100 of them. If you just add 1, will that give you 101 groups of 99? Remember, that's what this means. Let me just clear the board again. So let's go. What does this thing mean here? This means that we're looking at 101 groups of 99. So I got 101 bags, and in each bag got 99. Everybody see that? So which one of these options represent those 101 bags of 99? So A tell us we got 100 bags of 99 plus 1. But where the other 99 bags gone? This don't represent 99 bags. That just tell me I got an extra 1 inside. So it cannot be that. B is actually the answer. Everybody see why B is the answer? Because how much 99s you have in all now? Check it out. This give me 199s plus 199. And in all, how much will that give me? 101. This here would give me 199. Because if I have 199s and I subtract 199, I get 99. Everybody see that? It sounds so confusing. But I hope I understand what I said. Yeah? No? Think about it as bags. Let's say we got bags of quartz or bags of 99 cents. Let's go again. We have bags of 99 cents. So this is 100 bags, right? Of 99 cents plus 1 bag of 99 cents. How much bags in all do we have? Let me see if you're catching it now. So there we go. Okay, so you see that you have 100 bags of 99. So that's 100. Then you're adding 1 bag of 99. How much bags of 99 you got in all? 101. Everybody see that now? Let me know if you understand that part. Okay, let's go. Second one, C. You got 100 bags of 99 cents, but you subtract 1 bag of 99 cents. How much bags you got in all now? Do you still have 100 bags? If you just subtract 1 bag from it, how much bags you ending up with now? You're ending up now with 99 bags of 99 cents. This is intentionally made to confuse you guys. C, what about C? C is telling us to multiply our, yes, C telling us to multiply, because you realize no sign in between here. When no sign in between here, what does that mean we need to do? We need to multiply. So that could never be the answer, because that will end up giving us a huge number. So that's why the answer is what? What would be the answer? The answer would be B. The answer would be B. All right, so we're moving on. The first 3 common multiples of 3, 4, and 6. Before you go and find, before I tell you, everybody pick one. Let's go. Because I was just going to tell you the answer, but I want to see which one you would pick. Which one is the first three multiples, common multiples of 3, 4, and 6? Would you say A, B, C, or D? Okay. I see somebody saying B. Everybody, let's go. You got to pick an answer. At this point, it doesn't matter if you get right or wrong. I just want to see what you're thinking, because this is where we're going to learn and clarify everything we understand and don't understand. So everybody else, let's go. Which one would you pick? Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody remember what multiples is? So if I ask you for the multiples of 3, what would be the multiples of 3? The multiples of 3 would be 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 3 times 3 is 9. 12. 15. Everybody see that? That's the multiples of 3. So do not get confused by multiples and factors. Factors would have been 1, 3, them kind of things there. Okay? But we're looking at the multiples, and multiples should remind you that you have to multiply to get the answer. So before we could find the first 3, we must find the first one. How do we find the common multiples of 3, 4, and 6? We write them out. And to be honest, if you are strong in your tables, you wouldn't even have to do that, because you would know automatically the first common multiple between 3, 4, and 6 is 12. Because look at it. What's the multiples of 4? This was the multiple of 3. What's the multiples of 4? The multiples of 4 is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. All right. And then the multiples of 6, what would be the multiples of 6? The multiples of 6 would be 6, 12, 18, and 24. So let me ask you, what is the common multiple first of all? What's the smallest common multiple? Based on what we just did here, because these are the multiples of 3, the multiples of 4, the multiples of 6. So what is the common multiple between all of them? The smallest one. Exactly. So we should know that the first number that should be in our answer is 12. So guess which one can't be the answer? This can't be the answer, because first thing first, 0 is not a multiple or a factor of any number. Then we know it can't be B, because these are not even multiples. Similarly, C is to fool you, because 6 is a multiple of 3, but it's not a multiple of 4 or 6. 8 is a multiple of 4, but not a multiple of 3 or 6. And then you got 12. So that means these numbers still can't be correct. So which is the only option? D. Everybody see that? So it's going to be 12, 24, 36. Because the only number that all 3 of them have in common is 12. So that is why the multiples of 12 would be the common multiples of all 3 numbers. All right, all of this is revision. Okay, so let's go up now. We're gonna skip this. We're gonna come back to sets, because I ain't teach it to you guys yet. Some people may know it, some people may not. Let's go straight to number 13. We learned this yesterday. The equation of a line which passes through the point 0, 2 has a gradient of a third. So we need to determine which one is the gradient or which one is the equation. Based on what we did yesterday, you know you're starting off with this equation. Y minus y1 is equal to x, open bracket, x, not x, sorry, m. My bad. This is supposed to be m. M, x minus x1. They gave us a point, and what do we get from the point? We get from the point our x1 value and our y1 value. So all we need to do is plug it in. So we're going to end up with y minus, what is y, guys? What is y1? I just tell you here. Which one is the y1? The 0 or the 2? So it's going to be y minus 2 equal m. What is m? For those who are not here, let me just quickly show you the general equation of a straight line is y equal mx plus c. M is what we call the gradient. C is the y-intercept. If you miss all of the classes, it might be confusing, but once you watch the classes, it's pretty straightforward and easy, okay? So this is just something for you to at least pick up now, even if you don't know anything that's happening now, okay? So based on our equation, look at it. M is the gradient, so we're going to replace M, and it gave us the gradient. It says it has a gradient of a third, so we're going to write that in, and I'm making sure to write it in red so you can see that it stands out. So this is just substitution. X minus x1. Who is x1? x1 is simply 0. Once you get this, all you need to do now is simplify this equation. So let's go. We need to multiply out the brackets. So we're going to end up with y minus 2. And when we multiply a third by x, we're going to get a third x minus a third times 0. And anything times 0 is what? Anything times 0 is 0. So it's minus 0. Everybody see that? So what we're going to end up with? We're going to end up with y minus 2 is equal to 1/3 x. But can we leave our equation like this? We cannot, because we must make it look like the standard one. What the standard one look like? Y is equal to mx plus c. Only y should be over here by itself. So who we need to get rid of here? We need to get rid of this minus 2 by moving it over. When we move over minus 2, what does it become? It changes sign. So we're going to end up with y is equal to 1/3 x plus 2. Which option is that? The option is D. This is literally what we did last night. All right, for those who don't know, please copy this down. This is very important. Copy it down in your books and number it. This is the working for number 13. So that when you revise or when you look at the video in your own time, you could come back to this and understand each step, because we broke it down step by step in the video. Okay? All right. So we're going to skip 14 and 15. These are the topics we're going to be doing next. So discount, money, all these things we're going to come to next. All right. So number 16. This is what we call an inequality. And when I saw this, I was glad that this came up so I could teach you this now. So I'm going to teach you inequalities now. So one, we should know what the difference between this sign and this sign. What these signs mean, guys? This means what? Greater than or less than? Whenever the mouth is open to the front, it's called greater. That means that the number in front is the greater value. When the mouth is shut and is facing the front, the value in front is lesser. Everybody with me? Now I'm going to introduce you to something different now. There's also something that is called less than, greater than, and equal to. And less than and equal to. So copy this down. So this is greater and equal to. And this is less than and equal to. So let's look at what these things mean. So we use in today's session to learn and to revise. So first of all, copy this down in your books. Let me know when you guys are done. Even if you know it, copy it down because I'm going to teach you something you know. and it can't hurt to have it in your notes anyways. So let me know when you are finished. All right. So I'm going to show you how to compare these two things, right? Suppose I tell you write the values where x is greater than 3. What would those values be? So x would be equal to what? What would be the first value x would be if x is greater than 3? Excellent. So you're going to be 4, 5, 6. And if I put dot, 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 what does dot, dot mean? Dot, dot means you're counting straight until infinity. Because you realize x is any number once it is greater than 3. Everybody with me? So just confirm with me if you understand this simple point, because you should know this one already. But if I ask you to find x is greater than and equal to 3, what would be the first value of x now? Because x now is greater than and equal to 3. So the first value is going to be 3. Because x is equal to 3 and greater than 3. So it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, dot, dot, dot. Everybody see the difference between greater than and greater than and equal to? When it's greater than, it's going to be the number after, because obviously x is greater than 3. So any number greater than 3, you start there, which would be 4. But if x is greater than and equal to, you start at 3, 4, 5, etc. Now, this is what I really want to teach y'all. How to represent this information on a graph. When you draw in a graph, right, you have your number line. I would say number line, sorry. So I'm going to start off with what? 0. So this is 0. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. This is 6. Same thing here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please copy this down. 6, 7. Whenever you are using the greater than or less than sign, when you're representing this information on a number line, you use an open circle. When you are drawing, so you have to use an open circle, and I'm going to show you what I mean by an open circle. When you are drawing a greater than and equal to, you have to use a shaded circle. So now I want to draw this. X is greater than 3. So I am going to draw my circle on 3, but it's going to be open, and I'm going to put my arrow in a direction that represents where the number is going to continue going. So we know that this means that all the values of x is greater than 3. But if we want to represent x is greater than and equal to, we put the circle where again? We put the circle at 3. But what type of circle are we going to have? We're going to have a shaded circle. Because the shaded saying that we starting right there, but the open circle saying we starting at the number after. So same thing, same arrow, but one is open, one is closed. Everybody see that? Let me use a different color. So this is how this is represented. And this is how this is represented. So let me know when you guys finish copying down this, and we're gonna go right back into the questions. All right. Now let's look at this question now. Which graph, which inequality represents the graph that it just shows here? I need an answer from everybody. A, B, C, or D. Based on what we just learned, which one would you pick? Don't be afraid to get it wrong, but just pick an answer. Will this be 16? Pay attention to which circle we got here. If you look here, you would see what? The circle is an open circle. So which two answers cannot be the answer? C and D can be the answer because C and D got what? Less than and equal to. And how do we represent less than and equal to? By a shaded circle. So we know them two gone. Can be the answer. So the answer is between A and B. Which one will you pick? Is it the values X is greater than 1 or X is less than 1? Everybody, let's go again. So I see a few correct answers. Look at where the values is. Did we go 2, 3, 4, 5? Or did we go 0, -1? Did we go less than 1? Or did we go greater than 1? Keep in mind, greater than would always go to the right. Less than can always go to the left. Because let's be real. If this is 1, 0 ain't less than 1. -1 ain't less than 1. -2, -3. Everybody see now? So your answer is going to be A. All right. Now let's get into the functions questions. So they gave us this function here. H of X is 3x minus 2, 5. Find H of -1. If anybody remember, what does this mean? Whenever they give a function and they ask us to find with a number, we just got everywhere we see X, we put the number. So we know we need to find. So let me just write out the function. The function is 3x minus 2 over 5. That's H of X. So if they want us to find H of -1, you're replacing everywhere you see X, you replace it with -1. So what is that going to be equal to? 3, and instead of X, what are we going to put? -1 minus 2 over 5. We should remember what this means. What does this mean? This means to do what? This means to multiply. So 3 times -1 is -3 minus 2 over 5. We should know that when you minus from a negative number, you add the two numbers and you put back the sign. So your answer is -5 over 5. So your answer is -1. How do I get that? Because 5 into itself goes once, 5 into itself goes once. The negative sign remained, so we end up with -1. So our answer is A. Because 3 times -1 is -3. When you multiply 1 times 3, 1 times 3 is 3. So -1 times 3 is -3. A positive times a negative is a negative. If you use your calculator right now, you would realize that as well. These are the integer rules. I realize every class are telling y'all about the integer rules. If you don't lock down the integer rules, you're going to struggle. But everybody understand this? Because this is the easiest part about functions. They give you a function and you work it out. Everybody finish? Okay. So before we continue, I need to find out from you guys. Are you finding this session useful? Have you been able to like learn, clarify, understand, see things and realize things that you don't know? Give me some feedback, please. How you feeling about everything that we've done so far? You feeling is it overwhelming? Is it helping you a little bit better? Um yeah, talk to me, let me know what's up. Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. These questions are a lot easier because they don't really require much like calculations. So we should be able to go through these questions quickly and wrap up today's session. Very good. Very good. Okay. So let's just run through these questions and call it judge. Okay, okay. Let's go number 18. Which of the following statements best describe this function? Look at the numbers. You got X going to Y because we know this already. And look at how the numbers moving from 2 to 3. What do you do to 2 to get 3? What do you do to 5 to get 8? What do you do to 8 to get 11? So which one is the one that represents this information? How do we usually write a function? First thing first, based on elimination, which one look odd? Do we ever have anything but X is equal to? Never, because we always have what? What do we always have? Y is always equal to something. So which two options we know wrong from the jump? These two wrong from the jump. You will never get a function that look like this. So we should remember that f of x is the same thing as what? F of x just means y. Is another way of saying the output, y, the function, whatever. So C and D is correct. But which one is correct? Is it that when I put 2, I add 3? Or I said 3 minus 2? So which one would you pick, C or D? Which one would you pick, guys? Let's test it out and see. Let's test it out and see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Look at it. If you say, right, remember y is the answer. When you do this to x, you're going to get back this. So, for example, if I said 3 minus 2, what is the answer for 3 minus 2? I got 1, but 1 is not here. So it could never be this. Let's check the next one. The function that tells us y is equal to x plus 3. When x is 2 and I add 3, do I get 5? Yes. When I have 5 and I add 3, do I get 8? Yes. When I get 8 and I add 3, do I get 11? Yes. When I have 11 and I add 3, do I get 14? Yes. So these the only correct answer, because when I plug in all these values into the function, I get back the answers over here. Everybody remember that's how functions and relations work? Input and output. X is the input, Y is the output. So your answer is D. Okay? Let's keep it moving. 19. I love this. The straight line cuts the y-axis where? So now you're looking for the point. Before we even continue, which point cutting the y-axis? Is it A or is it B? And to be honest, they're labeled. So you should be able to look at it and see. Which point cutting the y-axis? Is it point A? And look at them here. Look at B. This is B here. And this is A here. Which one is cutting the y-axis? So Ashley responded. What about everybody else? Which one is the one you need to focus on? The one right here. A. See that? Because which one is the y-axis? Remember this line here? This line here is the y-axis. Look the y to the top here. Everybody see that? So now they ask us which point, what is the coordinates, or what is the ordered pair at this point? How do we write an ordered pair? Remember, you need two things. Who does come first? X comes first. Who comes second? Y comes second. Excellent, Ashley. Thank you, guys. Very good. So remember, we just read the X from this line and we read the Y from this line. So when we on this axis, X is always what? Because if this is 1, this can be what here? This can be 0. So X is 0 here. And what is Y? Y is what? Who could tell me? Remember now we're reading on this line here now? -2. Exactly. So the point is 0, -2. That's this point here. So what option is that? The option is D. Let's keep it moving. Which of the following functions are... No, which one of the following diagrams is functions? Anybody remember which ones is functions? We did this in relations. Let's go back again. What are the different types of relations that we have? You have a one-to-one, a one-to-many, a many-to-one. Which ones is the functions out of the three of them? 1 and 2, 1 and 3, or 2 and 3? Let me see if you all remember. So we're going to remember, okay, 1-to-1 is always a function. And many-to-one is the function. Once it going to 1, that's all you got to remember. Once it's going to 1, ooh. Once you're moving over to 1, I don't know why my pen doing this. So annoying. So as I was saying, once it goes to 1, it's a function. So this is a function. This relation is a function. This relation is a function. So let's look at it. What type of relation is A? Is it a one-to-one or one-to-many or many-to-one? It is not a one-to-one because all of them not going from 1 to 1. This is a one-to-many because one thing is moving to more than one thing. So this is a one-to-many. So this is not a function. What about this one? What is it? This is also a one-to-many. Last one, we'll see. What is this? This is also, this is a many-to-one. But look at it closely though. It is still also one-to-many. You see how this one could fool you? So this is not a function. Let's look at the last one. A many-to-one. So the answer is D. Because this is the only one that goes to 1. Many-to-one. Everybody see that? We almost finished. We almost finished. We almost finished. We almost finished. Just confirm if you remember the different relations. If you don't, you know you got to do some revision because I'm going to send you guys an assignment to do. Okay? All right. The same concept here. Which relation is not a function? So let's label them. You can't determine which one is not a function if you don't know what they are. So let's look at it. Look at all the inputs. Let's look at all the X. So 1, 3, -5, 4. All of them are different. Let's look at the Y's. -5, 1, 4, 2. All of them is different. So this would be a one-to-one because every single one going to a different Y. Every X going to a different Y. Let's look at B. Look at the x's. 2, 3, 4, 5. All of the x's are different. Let's look at the y's. 7, 7, 7, 8. What do we realize here? 2 gone to 7, 3 gone to 7, 4 gone to 7. So this is what we call a many to one. So that's a function. So this is a function. This is a function. Let's look at C. We have +1, -1, +1. Red flag. When you have more than one x's, the same x going to two different things. So look what's going on here. 1 gone to -5 and 1 gone to what? +5. What does that mean? This is a one to many, because the same one gone to two different numbers. So the answer that is not a function is C. But let's back check and make sure these are function. 3, 5, 7, 8. That's different. -2, -6, 7, 8. That's different. So this would be a one-to-one. So the answer with the one that's not a function is C. Number 22, I'm not answering for y'all. All of the x values or inputs are called what? Somebody should know this. This is easy. What's the answer for number 22? Guys, oh no, you don't remember? Thank you, Janella. Domain. Remember when we did the mappings? So X here, Y here, and you got your mappings. And we know this is the domain, X is the domain, and Y is what? Y is the range. So this is A. Next one, C. The Y values or outputs are referred to all except which one? So which one, because we learned this as well, which one is the answer here? A, B, C, or D? So what this is asking us, we can call Y or the output everything except who? Exactly, because remember, f of x is the same thing as y, range is the same thing as y, codomain is the same thing as y. So A is the answer, because domain only talks about the x. Excellent. Last one. Which is used to describe a relation in a function? Oh, you don't know this one. This is something I need you guys to look at. I'm going to send you all a picture now on WhatsApp. I want y'all to take a look at it. So we usually use this, and I'm going to teach this next class. We'll go over it because it's just something that you just need to understand. Whenever you got a graph, right? You can't have two values for x and it's called a function. So for example, if I use a different color, I don't want to teach this now. No, so we're going to skip this one. Just know that the answer is the vertical test, and I'm going to teach y'all it after because I don't want to confuse y'all. So the vertical text based on the picture I sent, we're going to go through it. So we're almost there. Let's just wrap this up quickly. What is the domain relation in the mapping in the diagram? So which numbers represent the domain? A, B, C, or D? Is it 3, 5, and 8 is the domain? Is it 7 and 11? Is it 3, 5, 8, 12? Or real numbers? Which one? The domain. Remember, the domain is always the X. The range is the Y. This is the domain. This is the range. Which two numbers are the only numbers in the domain? only these two numbers here. So the answer is C. Everybody see that? Almost there. Let's go. In the given relation, what range value corresponds to the domain value of -2? So that means which number for the y matches with the value -2 in the x. So you have to look and see which one is the -2 value in the x. Keeping in mind, x is always first, y is always second. So we're looking for -2 here. Where do we find that? This is the one with -2 in the x value. And they ask for the range. So what's the answer? Is it A, B, C, or D? Take a try, because this is the last one we're going to do today. We're going to stop here. So before we leave, I need everybody to try this one. If we identify -2 as the x, what is the value of y that corresponds with -2? Is it A, B, C, or D? Okay. The answer is obviously D, because 4 is the y value that corresponds with that. All right. So the other questions, guys, we're going to finish it tomorrow. And then we're done with functions. We're going to look some questions and then we're going to be done with functions. Okay. So just before you leave, just give me an idea of how you feel about what we did today. Out of 10, we did a lot. We covered a lot. So tell me how confident, and if you realize that you don't feel as strong, that means you need to do some revision. Look at the handouts that I sent you guys. Touch up your memory. Okay. So I see 5, 7. Anybody else? Okay. Alicia. Okay. Jeffrey is still here. Let me know. All right. Okay, guys. So that's it for today. One last question. I know it may be a little overwhelming to attend this class that we have this week. We're not gonna have classes every day next week because I didn't want to do too much. Next week, I'll make myself available for one-on-ones or smaller group sessions for persons who want it. But do you guys feel like this is useful to you? Because I don't want to force it on you. So would you guys like to continue with the rest of the week? So tomorrow and Thursday? Okay. Okay. All right. No problem. So for those who can't make it, because they have other stuff going on, I hope you guys take a chance and look at the recordings. Okay. So that's it for today's lessons, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good week.